No! God, please, no! No! What?
Looking a cow in the ass.
What? You what?
Then
Get a cow in the ass.
a cow in the ass.
Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV, your one-stop shop for all the latest Manchester United content.
Nice.
Here we tend to bring you all the positive facts about Manchester United on the pitch and off the pitch, or what we say win, lose or draw, or in this platform we tend to say win, lose or show, giving you a kind of a voice over reasoning, because mental health is certainly an issue if we win, lose or draw. But you know, being a patriot passionate, right, we tend to stick together and we don't practice treason, do we? Hurry, 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 Maguire. Dun, 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 dun. Hurry, 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 Maguire. You run to West Ham. Yariba, yariba. So wait a minute, Mick. Why 10 things? Why not 5 things like Steve Howson does? Well, it's 10 things like Ten Hag people. Use a logic and reasoning. And also we're trying to compile things in 10 minutes. Because here we love them, we hate them, we adore them. But of course, we never ignore them. We're talking about the facts. We're talking about 10 things that we learn about Manchester United this week. We are giving them the roses, but we also give them the thorns. Why? Because we are the Red Devils with the horns. So let's stick together. Let's do this. Let's talk about 10 things we learned about Manchester United this week.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Guys, I want to go into 10 things what we learned from Manchester United. And the way it works is that I'm going to play number 1 to 10, right? I wrote down 10 headlines what I thought we learned about Manchester United this week. But I want to hear your engagement in the VR room as well to tell me what you think as well. So I'm going to go with number 1.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
Well, number 1, people, according to my opinion, is that Ten Hag is simply cooking with what he got. You know, he's been dealt a bad hand this transfer window. We thought we were giddy that we were getting new owners in, and you know, we had expectation that we would be giving extra money to go and get Harry Kane and Mbappe and all that big money signings. But it turned out that, you know, it was actually 120, 130 mil. That was a Bank of America overdraft. And the Glazers were kind of shafting me in a way to say, if you want more plays, you have to sell to buy. It's been absolutely shambles. So what did Ten Hag do? Well, he got his main targets that he could afford, like, you know. He got the Mason Mount early. He got the Onana goalkeeper shipped off De Gea on big wages. Managed to lower down the wage bill. Got in Rasmus Elm, the striker that he wanted. And the rest he had to scrape to get loan deals for, right? He was dealt a bad hand. And at the end of the day, you can question the football operational side like Murtaugh and Arno, how they've been dealing with the situation. But at the end of the day, Glazers are still here. Glazers still here. That leaves us to point number.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
Until we're sold, Glazers win again, people. What we learned this week is it's still that divide and conquer. Honest to God, like, you know, we've spoken about how many managers been thrown under the bus. This is the Glazer PR strategy. This is the playbook. We've seen this movie before. Glazers don't speak. Glazers, when was the last time you heard a Glazer speak? That was back in November when they announced that we are looking for strategical investments, right? So what they do is clear and obvious. They let us fan base, you know, divide and conquer. What does it mean, Mick? Well, we argue against each other. And it ends up that one bad result, we are back on it to throw the manager under the bus. Do you recognize the script? We clearly need this sales process to start shaping as soon as possible. Glazers needs to go. Glazers are the one that creating the toxic, I can't even pronounce the word. You know what I mean? The toxic environment within our fan base. So I call it a spade a spade. It's still divide and conquer, and don't fall for it. Number 3.
No! God, please, no! No!
Player power. I thought we got rid of that player power, and this ties into number one, that Ten Hag is cooking. He's trying to make things work, right? You know, in today's modern societies, players love social media, their own brand, more than, you know, what they're playing football at the club. We've seen Jesse Lingard. Was he a good footballer, or was he just more of a breakdancer or a rapper or somebody that did moonwalk on Emirates? And same thing goes with Jadon Sancho. You know, it's got massive social media followers, and 24 years of age. I understand you're still young, but the problem lies in money in today's footballers. Like, you know, you throw money on a youngster, you know, that, you know, clearly you become a rock star status. Like you're becoming a multimillionaire, and you kind of become a little complacent. But at the end of the day, it falls down to money, right? Money and the fame. You're playing for Manchester United, but nobody is bigger than the club. That has always been a policy. Nobody is bigger than the club. Guys, let me know your thoughts and feelings regarding that, because it comes down to point number 4.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
Point number 4 ties into what I spoke about point number 3, and that is rules and principle. That should always be the law. You know, for me, it's simple. Gaffer picks the team, not the player that picks himself, right? Ten Hag, according to my opinion, has backed Sancho all the way. He's been giving him chances. He's sending him off to Holland for boot camp, for training. Although it wasn't his signing, it was Ole's signings, right? We know that his signing, his winger signing, was Anthony Dos Santos. But he tried to fix them, and, you know, the disrespect back from Sancho is not okay, you know. If the gaffer comes out to be honest in an interview to say, well, I don't think he's applied himself too much, like he didn't train well, or I don't know, he wasn't picked for this occasion, and within 40 minutes you come out and tweet on your social media account to back yourself to get clicks and, you know, clout, that's not on. Seriously, there's something wrong there, right? So this needs to be nipped in the bud. At the end of the day, if you are in a working situation, if, you know, imagine you rock up to work, you know the pecking order, you know the hierarchy, right? If you work for a company that have the, you know, cultural, that's not called employer value, culture, whatever. But in a work situation, you have a boss, and the boss delegates the work and sets the rules and principles the way you should follow. If you're not following those rules and principles, it's called performance manager, you got to be sacked, you know, or you're going to be taken aside or being given like a provisional plan to work a way up to your standards, if you know what I mean. It's called something like, you know, I put you on trial right now, but I set down a couple of rules and principles that I want you to follow. And if you're not achieving what I want, then we have to fire you. That's what's going on right now. So I back, at any given Sunday, I back my manager. And if I want to prove something to my manager, it's work harder than the last time, right? At the end of the day, if you read this statement, he calls himself a scapegoat. That is kind of sheer deflection to me, right? That is deflection, according to my opinion. If you can't understand where the problem lies, I get that you're backing yourself for your own ability, but if you haven't really performed ever since you came to Manchester United, then you should look yourself in the mirror before you release that statement, peeps. That's my feelings regarding that point, but let's go into point number 5.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
And again, short and sweet, point number 5 is work harder than the last time. If you want to be selected, prove yourself. That's any given Sunday in life. Don't sit there and sulk, you know. Don't sit there and sulk and say, well, why didn't I get picked? No. If you want to get picked, prove yourself. Action speaks louder than words, people. Point number 6 then, moving on.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
And point number 6 ties into everything here. Media doesn't love us. We are the biggest club in the world. And yeah, media just waiting for something for this to happen with Manchester United. Make a meal out of it. Just when we just finish off this transfer news and, you know, all the clickbaits and stuff and the takeover news then. This hits us with Anthony Dos Santos, with Jason Sancho. Jason? Did I say Jason? Jadon Sancho. Expect the shitstorm. Expect meatballs with a cloud of meat. Well, expect a cloudy day with a chance of meatballs, whatever they say. There's 2 weeks when we're not going to play football, unfortunately, so media is going to have nothing to write about. So I do expect them to write up and amplify this more and more and more. Dig. That's what we're going to say. And that leads us to point.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
That comes down to allegations galore. I'm tired of it. On the back end of Mason Greenwood's story, on the back end how the club was handling it, on the back end that he was proven innocent in the court, then the club did an investigation and they came up with a statement that they didn't find him guilty but still had to let him go. It's just been a shit show, and now we've seen Anthony Dos Santos. It's coming down to moral versus factual, right? It's coming down to your personal feeling, what you believe versus the facts. So I would say just park it, nip it in the bud, deal with it and move on, because we cannot afford to have another scandal like this. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And that leads to point number 8.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
Love him, hate him, adore them, never ignore them. VAR doesn't love us. FA doesn't love us. Glazers doesn't love us. And again, we got robbed. We're talking about the VR decision against Arsenal. And, I kind of try to understand that, Premier League is a product. Premier League is produced. There is supposed to be action. There's supposed to be drama. Why they keep changing the rules every year to entertain you, right? Why are they all of a sudden playing 10 extra minutes for entertainment's sake? They want us to have a late drama goal, right? If Manchester United was given that VAR decision, which was clearly an onside ruling, we would have won the game 100%. But it was only in the 96-97 minute when Declan Rice scored the goal. And if you look at that, you can blame Jomini Evans, but actually Gabriel was the one that pulled him down so Declan Rice could have a clean shot. We also seen images of how Rasmus HOJLUND get clearly pulled down like a hockey tackle, hockey grab, pulled down because his leg is pointing up as well. They don't look at it. Anthony Taylor at it again with the VAR room. And that leads us to a more positive point number 9.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
And congratulations, Eric Bailly, finally out from the club. I feel sad. I love Eric Bailly. He's our crazy guy, right? He's the loose cannon that always gets injured, but when he's on the pitch, he's absolutely sacrificing for the team, right? I was just thinking, right, instead of playing Johnny Evans, instead of playing Maguire, Eric Bailly was still on the books. I'd rather play Eric Bailly, even if he gets injured. He puts his body on the line. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. He blocks the shot. He offers something, but fantastic. He is now signed a 1-year deal confirmed. And congratulations, Eric. I will say all the best for all the Manchester United fans out there. And finally, point number 10, which finish off on a positive.
No! God, please, no! No! What?
Number 10 must be our number 9 or number 11, Rasmus HOJLUND. We finally, oh my God, 20 minutes, that he got against Arsenal shows exactly what we've been missing, what we've been crying out for. Rasmus HOJLUND might be 20, but the respect he got as soon as he entered that pitch, and you saw what he can deliver on just 20 minutes. I don't say that we should have any, expectation on Rasmus HOJLUND, but those 20 minutes shows us a little bit of a glimpse of the future, what to expect. And also, Amrabat coming into the team, Kobe Mainoo coming back into the team as well. So, barring that we have 6 points, out of 4 games, the future still looks bright. We have plenty of games to play, and I'm really looking forward to see more of Rasmus HOJLUND. For me, Anthony Martial can be a passenger. Anthony Martial can be the one that sits on the bench. Ain't matter. We can't ship him off unless Saudi comes. But Rasmus HOJLUND, oh my God, he shows what a proper number 9 can do. He's not a proper striker. He's more of a player that could link up the play. He's very fast. He's tenacious, very strong. You know, holding up the ball, holding up the play, link up the play, but he can also score a goal now and then. Guys, let me know what your thoughts and feelings are. This has been 10 things we learned about Manchester United this week.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.